Okay, so I've been thinking about filming this video for a long time, but I have not filmed it because I'm just like, I don't know. It's a weird topic. What you must know is that I have I feel like I've talked a lot about my dreams on this channel. So now, not like that. Okay, now that I've reestablished my body. Wait, I feel like I'm gonna button up a little bit. Okay, well, okay. Here's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about my dreams. And I'm thinking about the dreams that I've had this year with clavicular. And I don't know if I'm gonna post this, but if I do, that's what I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about all of the strange dreams I've had regarding this man. And okay, I feel like understanding how I got introduced to even the concept of him is interesting now. I've always been obsessed with collarbones. Even in my paintings of myself, I always make sure to draw my clavicles. So I think about these things a lot. Even just in this painting, I'm looking right here at myself. As I do a lot of self-portraits, I had a period where I was just really inspired by Frida Kahlo. So I was just thinking about her a lot. And in everything, how Frida Kahlo would always paint her eyebrow, her unibrow, I would always paint my collarbones. So that's what I'm thinking about. I had this was in 2020 where I had this period where I was doing this. I wouldn't say that I do it in everything anymore, but it was kind of like a signature thing. I would always spend a lot of time on my collarbones and on my clavicles, okay? So I already kind of know, I'm already familiar with the word clavicular, but I had no idea who this streamer was until I was okay, so if you kept up at all with my story, I was at some point trying to study club culture. Then at the end of last year, in the beginning of this year, I was kind of trying to study it again, the party scene culture, going to a lot of different events. And I was with this guy, and this guy would always he was driving me around and yeah, we were kind of yeah, whatever. So he always wanted to watch this streamer. He was always he'd be in my room or we'd be at his house and he'd be watching clavicular. And I didn't know it was clavicular. I had no idea who this was. And he'd be telling me about him. He'd be telling me about the car crashes and stuff like that. And he was like, I just want to go to Miami. And I was like, I don't want to go to Miami. That's what I said. And cause in my head, the Santa Monica Mountains are my home. So he was talking about running away to Miami. And so he was talking about this to me, and it was going in through one ear and out the other. I really wasn't paying that much attention to it, except for when he would talk about the car accidents, because I grew up in Calabasas, right when Justin Bieber was going through a lot of car accidents. So in my head, whenever he would talk about the, car accidents, I would immediately have sympathy for, clavicular and being well, he's probably being, chased down by people in the same way that, Justin Bieber was. And, I was just, immediately kind of, comparing, their situation. So I had sympathy for him, but I didn't have a Twitter. So he wasn't on my, at this point I didn't have X. I have X now, but I didn't have X. I was not in the manosphere. I did not know anything about Andrew Tate. I didn't know anything about clavicular. I didn't know anything about pills. I didn't know anything. And so this guy's trying to over the course of every time I would see him, he's giving me a curriculum. He's giving me all of this information about the world of clavicular as if I need to know. He's trying to get me to sit down with he's got one girl with a fucking taking notes on it all, and he's trying to get me to come take notes on clavicular, and they're going on Monkey and stuff like that, and I'm in my head I'm trying to save the world, I mean, to some extent, but I'm totally zoned in on my own things. I'm not thinking about him. And then I stopped talking to that guy, and I just didn't think about clavicular at all until I randomly had a dream about him. Well, no. Okay, the guy was at my house, and then the last time he was at my house, he was playing something in clavicular, and I still didn't know his name. I still didn't connect anything about him. But I was it was being drawn to me as if I needed to. And so I the same thing happened with Shawn Mendes. My dad was the one that was always bringing up Shawn Mendes to me, and I just I was why? It kind of felt like that, but like with this guy that I was seeing with clavicular. And he said something out loud. Here's what he said. He said, and it felt like a key, how I talk a lot about those key moments. He said on a stream, like, oh, women are useless. Like, you never get anything done productive when women are around. I heard him say that on live. And and I didn't know what was him saying it. I was like, I just was like, oh, this person hasn't met me. Because he was talking a lot about, like, sciencey stuff, and, like, which I now understand to be, like, terms about looks maxing. But, like, he was talking about that, and, like, I was following him. Like, I liked what he was saying, and then he said that. And I was like, oh, and I was like, I smiled, like, when he said it, and I was like, oh, it's because he hasn't met me. And I don't know what that means, but that was my initial thought to it, okay? And then all of a sudden, like, I had, like, I felt, after he said that, I felt like a kinship to him for some reason. Because, like, I was experiencing, like, stuff going on with my mom and stuff like that, so, like, I kind of understood his sentiment in that, like, I felt like my mother was, like, greatly inhibiting my ability to get things done in my life. So, like, when he said that, like, I related to it in, like, kind of a different way maybe than he was saying it, but it, like, it helped me relieve some tension, I guess, when he said that. And then that made me, like, be able to, like, kind of tune in, like, because all of a sudden I wasn't, like, really, like, afraid of the manosphere. I don't know. I just was always afraid of Andrew Tate because I thought I was going to get sex trafficked. I don't know why. Like, those things were just very connected in my head, and it's because of algorithms and stuff like that. Now I actually consume a lot of Andrew Tate content, and I think from my perspective of it all, like, from my story and from my context, like, I quite enjoy, like, I find myself laughing a lot. Like, I just, like, it's, like, and not at him. Like, it feels like, I don't know, I just enjoy his energy. I don't know how to explain that. Like, it's if I were to ever meet Andrew Tate, what I would want to do is go karaokeing. Like, I would be, like, wouldn't it be fun to just, like, go to karaoke with Andrew Tate? I think that would be funny. So, that's the thing that I'm thinking about when I'm, like, watching his content. And then, yeah, I don't know. Just the way he's evolved, too. I like his character arc. I like his storyline, if that makes sense. So, like, that's kind of when I'm, like, looking at, I don't know, like, masculine figures in media. Because I feel like I study, like forces of yin and yang that I'm seeing, like, move throughout, like, influencers and celebrity culture and, like people on, like, higher status hierarchies and stuff like that. Like, I'm looking at that a lot because I'm tracking the evolution of society. So it's, like, it's important for me to be aware of Andrew Tate. It's important of me to be aware of clavicular in order to do what it is that I'm doing. It's important for me to be aware of Shawn Mendes. It's important to be aware of, like, these different people, because what it is that I'm looking at is, like, the evolution of society, because I've studied so much of history. So now I also study modern days, and I, like, kind of, like, make projections. Like, I even, like, think about, like, trends that I think are gonna happen, or, like, I think about, like, words that I think are gonna start trending and stuff like that. And, like, I'm very, very meticulous about all of this. There's so much more underlying what it is that I'm saying. And what it is I'm talking about is dreams with clavicular. So that's what I'm thinking about. I've had dreams with Justin Bieber. I don't know. I'm not proclaiming that this is real, is what I'm saying. It's more like the archetype of these people are what is, like, moving society. It is, like, a representation of the collective consciousness. And, like, he's, like, there's a couple of figures where it's like, okay, these people are really dominating right now in society, like, kind of influencing this yang energy from, like, a large scale. So, it's not weird to me that, like, I have dreams about it all, because I'm thinking about all of this on, like, an evolutionary scale quite a bit. So, I am used to this. But here's the thing. The dreams about clavicular are a little bit weird. And I remember the first one. I remember, like, I was, this might have been in, like, February or something like that. I was experiencing something where, like, my wisdom tooth really fucking hurt. And for some reason, like, in my head, I was like, I should watch clavicular. And he was just gambling for, like, so many hours. It was in the middle of the night. And I remember I was actually able to just fall asleep. And I, like, just fell asleep, finally. Even though I was in pain, like, it kind of, like, went away. And I just was able to just, like, listen to this guy gamble and fall asleep. And so that was, like, kind of my, like, like introduction, like, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I just liked his vibe. I don't know. He was just alone and he was just gambling. And there was just something to it. And so then I started, well, okay, so that's the first dream. Then I had some other dreams. And I would have other dreams where, like, so I wouldn't really watch his stream or anything like that again. But I would, like, have dreams where, like, I would be, like, in, like, Miami and I would be with him. Or I wouldn't be with him. I would just be, like, kind of, like, looking at what was going on in the situation and, like, helping him do, like, emotional math in, like, different rooms. Like, there'd be, like, elderly women doing things and, like, we would do, like, I don't know. Like, he would just kind of, like, show me a room and sometimes there would just be a huge mess. And then I would just kind of, like, I don't know, I would be in the room and I would just get schemy with it and I would have fun with it. And, like, that's, like, what would happen. And, like, that would happen. That was happening a lot, like, intermittently. And then up until, like, a month ago, when I had a dream where, like, I don't know, I was on the phone with my mom, and she was like, oh, you work for Clavicular. She was just talking to me, and she was telling me that I worked for Clavicular. And I was like, okay, Mom. Oh, no. We forgot about the puppet dream. I had a dream about puppets, okay? And this guy named Ben, and Clavicular. I was like, the three of us were enrolled in this, like, puppet class. I don't know. Sometimes, like, how there's, like, dreams where I go to different planets and I, like, test out technology or I learn something with, like, a group of people. I could very clearly recognize that, like, it was the three of us. And then, like, Whoa Vicky was there, too, but she was, like, crying. And so, like, we were enrolled in this puppet class, but I was, like, helping take care of her. And, like, I remember, like, doing Reiki on her heart. Or not Reiki, but just, like, warming her heart. Like, and just letting her know that I was really happy that she was alive. And I just remember repeating that to her over and over again. And then, like, going and being a part of this puppet thing. And this was, like, right around Coachella. Okay? And it was because, like, there were, like, the whole premise, like, and, you know, dream logic. So it's kind of insane. The whole premise was that, like, there were, like, puppeteers, like, trying to take over. And, like, we had to, like, we were going to stop anything bad from happening. We were going to, like, protect people. I don't know. So we had to, like, learn how to puppet, too. And, like, that was, like, yeah, I don't know. It was a very intense dream. It was, like, a high intensity. And I was like, what the fuck is going on in my dream world? That's how I felt, like, yeah, that must have been beginning of April, okay? So, yeah. And, I mean, I understand that dream. I mean, I understand all of these dreams for my own personal thing, but I'm just telling you the dreams because I think it's all kind of cinematic. I think when I string all of them together, it's all kind of cinematic. So then I have the dream where, like, I apparently work for Clavicular and I'm in Miami and I'm in this, like, suitcase hotel that's got all these different, like, floors and, like, layers. You have to, like, go up all these different types of staircases and, like, there's a concert happening, but, like, the concert keeps changing floor, okay? And it's, like, it goes, like, into the underground tunnels of, like, Miami. And, like, I'm there and for the first time, I'm able to, like, see somebody who I have, like, a complicated, like, relationship that I never got closure with from, like 10 years ago. And for the first time ever, they're in my dream, and, like, they're a musician, and so we're actually just able to sit down and have a talk and, like, realize that, like, everything's okay now. Like, it's, like, it just felt like exactly what I needed to happen. And I was like, what is going on here? And then he was, like, asking me what I was doing that day, seeing if I wanted to, like, travel with them, and I was like, well, why don't you come on my boss's show? Why don't you come on, I work for Clavicular, I'm his assistant. That's, like, what was happening in this dream. Oh, but this is the only time I ever had a dream where I don't know. I guess that's, like, what it was. It was just a weird dream. I was like, I'm his assistant. Like, why don't I see if your band can, like, come on his show? And then I called him, and he just said, yeah, that sounds hilarious. And I was like, you're right, that does sound hilarious. So then, like, I just invited him, and then I woke up. That was the end of the dream. So that's that. And then I didn't think much about it. I just was like, all right, that was an interesting dream. I was happy to, like, see the person. I feel like I was able to get, like, that dream happened, like, a couple weeks ago, like, probably, like, 4 weeks ago, probably, like, a month ago. And then I was able to, like, I don't know, I was able to go through, like, a healing process regarding that whole situation. So I'm, like, happy about this dream, okay? because it was very nourishing for my soul, is what I will say. And then, so if you know anything about my dream world, it's constant chaos. It's constant chaos. Until about like 2 weeks ago, I had a dream. For the first time ever, I just felt complete peace. And I was in Miami, and I was just in Clavicular's room, and he was there too. And I don't know. It was a more intimate dream, but like not in like a, I don't know how to explain it. Not in like a, I don't know how to explain it. All I know is that I felt an insane amount of peace. He was just like asking me questions in this dream. And like, it just felt like we were familiar with each other. And like, yeah. So I don't know what to make of these dreams. But I felt the most peace that I've ever felt in the dream world was that dream. Which is like, that was the anomaly for me. And that's what made me finally need to like sit down and think about like all of my dreams about Clavicular in like a narrative sense. And so this is the data that I present you. This has been my experience. So yeah. That's how we ended up with a branch of something called comparative clavicularisms. It's because of these like weird dream things, and there's so many more details I could bring into this, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, thanks for watching.